We have Patrick from HomeToGo. And HomeToGo, as you may know, is the first European SPAC ever done. Patrick, there you are. Hey!
Hello.
See you.
Thank you for having me.
We're a little bit in a rush, so if it's okay, you kick straight off.
Sure.
Thank you.
Perfect. Good. So thank you for having me. And yeah, sorry that I couldn't make it in person, but these times, as all of us know, are a bit different. So I today give you a glimpse overview over HomeToGo and what we have achieved during the pandemic, and how we also have a look on sustainability, as this is one of the main themes that we want to cover here at the NOAH, but also like throughout HomeToGo's evolution over time. So what is HomeToGo? Making incredible homes easily accessible to everyone. That's what we set ourselves out to when we founded HomeToGo 2014. And when we look at the market of alternative accommodation and vacation rentals, it's a super fragmented market. And so making these incredible homes that are in there accessible to everyone was not only collecting them on one platform, but also making them more accessible in terms of really like going there in real life. And this provides a lot of things in between, like when you make them bookable, when you really like try to bring offline supply live and all these kind of things. But I will touch on that. But the vision is very broad around like really providing this inventory to the customer and to the traveler. So if you look at the market of alternative accommodation or accommodation in total, you have to look at the total accommodation market. It's a 1 trillion market. And even if you take like big OTAs and where people are using them for stay-in accommodation, they only are covering like roughly 10% of the market in 2020. It's a 1 trillion market set out to grow 70% in the next decade. And if you take alternative accommodation as the fastest growing part of the travel market, and especially of the accommodation market already prior to the crisis, you can see that it got even accelerated with COVID-19. Yeah. So in the beginning, a lot of people were wondering why vacation rentals and alternative accommodation are doing so well during the crisis, but they have some obvious advantages, right? They are more safe, you are more like separated in these accommodation. You have also due to that a boom in near distance and domestic travel, which is also more sustainable. And you have a complete new use case, workation, that came up during the pandemic with loosening of remote work policies and all these things. You see basically that people use vacation rentals also for working remote. Maybe like if you look at outside today, at least in Berlin, it's like gray and rainy, and so you might want to spend this rather a month in Portugal. And this you definitely don't do in a hotel. You rather do this in a home or something that feels like a home, which is naturally then a vacation rental. And all of these things lead together to the fact that you have now people coming in that haven't used vacation rentals or alternative accommodation prior, or intensifying their use from before. And with this, you have an educational kind of moment. Yeah. So I have this personal anecdotes I also get where people suddenly tell me, hey, I've been to Mallorca and I have like been there with a group of people, and I only spent 40 euros a night with a great pool, private pool, sauna, and so on. I should have gone to a vacation rental prior. And I'm just saying, yeah, I always told you. And now I get sold these things as well. And all these educational aspects in the end lead to the fact that alternative accommodation and vacation rentals has become throughout the pandemic a mainstream product. Yeah, like also Booking.com's Glenn Fogel is looking on it, that this is consumer demand that doesn't go away in the future. But let me look into why one of the reasons why vacation rentals and alternative accommodation is a more sustainable travel option. Yeah. So this is what you see for the first 9 months of this year, where you see basically where people on HomeToGo book. Yeah, so you see the DACH region, Germany, Austria, Switzerland, see North America, Europe in the total, and the rest of the world. And you see the clear domination of domestic travel, which is simply due to the shorter distance you have to go to get there, already a more sustainable kind of travel option. And it shows very nicely how people are considering and also like starting taking their own country and taking near distance destinations more into consideration, and maybe learning also how beautiful the own country can be, and not only looking for far away or international travel destinations. And what you also can see, because we conducted basically a survey for our bookers, and you see that a lot of these people that book vacation rentals, yeah, so more than 70% in our survey said they won't actually even contribute to sustainable initiatives during that booking. So you see like the vacation rental traveler, also probably due to the connection or more connection to the country and being nearer to the nature, with which often happens with vacation rentals because they are happening in rural areas. A lot of people like are interested in either doing something to preserve the local environment or even generally offsetting their carbon footprint and with different kind of ways, also planting a tree, like with things that actually are connecting them to make their travel more sustainable. If we look at this market, and this is why we created the company, yeah, so it's a huge and fragmented market, the most fragmented market in travel. And it basically has two problems. On one hand, for the traveler consumer, on the other side, for the supplier. So what we do, we bring together demand and supply on our marketplace and enable the supply side with technology there and bring them qualified demand. Whereas for the consumer, we help them like getting a better overview and easy comparison, and for sure also trust on that side. Because despite what Johannes just said, accommodation is not a commodity. And that's why we built the largest selection of vacation rentals globally, with more than 15 million property offers that we combine on our platform, so more than 30,000 partners, and bringing this together with this huge demand we see on our platforms. You see, like in the summer, more than between 40 and 50 million people a month visiting HomeToGo platforms, and grew even on a gross booking value perspective, even throughout the crisis. So that's what you see. So like, despite the whole travel industry being tanked basically in 2020, we stayed more or less stable or slightly grew in gross booking value in 2020. And even in 2021 impacted, we had record quarter one, a record half year one, record 9 months in terms of gross booking value, but also in terms of revenues, even though like in the beginning of 2020, Europe was still heavily under lockdown. You might still remember that in Germany, you could barely travel to even domestic areas until May or June this year. Yeah, and this is also what brings me to our trajectory. Yeah, so if you remember what I said about our vision, so we started in the first place out as a meta search engine to combine all inventory on one platform. But making it accessible was also important for us, that especially these small property managers and small agencies that have vacation rentals are better served to the customer with trust, because you might be afraid that if you click out from a search engine to a small site that maybe has beautiful properties, but not native German or English, you might be confused. And this is where we created our tech enablement for these partners, that you can directly book them in our fully integrated marketplace that is also now SaaS enabled, because we offer technology solutions to our supply partners, and we will enlarge that with going into the direction of becoming the operating system that people, either they need demand, technology, or supply, can really rely on HomeToGo as their source for their needs. And if you look at our growth on that part where people transact on HomeToGo, you see that more than half of it already happening in Europe directly on the platform, the transactions, and US is increasingly growing. You see like in Q3 already more than 20% happening there. And this part of the business is even growing faster than the overall business. So, and what did we do? This year, we also went public. Yeah, at the end of September, we rang the bell and emerged with a SPAC at the German stock market. And this is just the beginning on our trajectory to build this operating system. And we get another 250 million of capital into the company to accelerate our growth further. And quick summary, yeah, Q3 results, all record results, booking revenues, IFRS revenues, especially compared to 2019, because 2020 is a bit hard to compare. And also from a 9-month perspective, we have been capable to beat our numbers from before. We are even better in growth than Airbnb in the respective comparison. And we are very happy to say that, obviously, we could raise our revenue guidance at the market from 80 million IFRS revenues to 85 to 90 million IFRS revenues for this year. And that's it from my side. Thank you very much. And thank you, Marco, for making this happening again, because NOAH was missed.